And we are back. Let's go ahead and talk about what is going on in the Golden State, California. I see Jordan Venero out there. Jordan, are you down at goals? I am not because I am going to take a little trip. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about what is going on in California because this is kind of a follow up to a story from about a month ago. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, a three-judge panel ruled that the California law that is uh says that there is California had a law basically that said you're only allowed to purchase one handgun a month. That would be equivalent to saying that you're only allowed to buy one Bible a month or one book a month. The three-judge panel from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that that law is unconstitutional. What that meant was that the law was struck down. Now, that was a three-judge panel. California could have filed for what is called an en banc hearing, which means the full bench. In most places, that means all 16 judges on the Court of Appeals would hear the case. But California is kind of different because they had the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit has 32 on 32 judges. So half the bench would hear it. So it's not really the full bench, but they still call it an en banc because there's would be uh, 16 judges hearing the case. Now, the deadline for California to apply for an en banc hearing was yesterday. What happened was California chose not to apply for an en banc, which means that they can no longer ask for an en banc. Now, does this mean that an en banc will not happen? No, not really, because the Ninth Circuit could decide to grant en banc to themselves. So if the full bench of the Ninth Circuit decides that they want to hear the case, even though California did not ask for an en banc, the Ninth Circuit can still grant an en banc hearing. Now, will they do that or not? I'm not sure. We will not know until the actual order is submitted by the Ninth Circuit. When that happens, I don't know how long that will be, but when that happens, we will know if they are going to en banc it themselves. Hopefully, they will not, but there are some reasons why I kinda hope that they will, because this also might be a reason why California didn't ask for an en banc. Let's say California did ask for an en banc or they en banc it themselves. I will get to the suppressor stuff in a minute. What could happen is at the en banc level, I believe that the Ninth Circuit or Ninth Circus, as some people call it, would rule in favor of California, which would set up a Supreme Court showdown. What this would be setting up is a showdown in front of Judge Thomas and the other conservative justices of the Supreme Court. And I don't think that it would have much of a chance of winning at the Supreme Court. So this move could be a strategic move by California to go ahead and prevent the law from becoming the law of the land, because right now it only applies to California. If the Supreme Court was to take the case and rule on it, it would be nationwide, and I don't think it would go in the way California wants it to go. It's kind of like a case out of DC. Reason why DC has concealed carry permits before the Bruin decision is because they did not appeal to the Supreme Court because they wanted to take the loss and not give the Supreme Court a chance to rule on concealed carry permits. That did happen later with Bruin, but it could have happened a lot earlier. But DC chose not to put the whole entire schemes of concealed carry permits around the country on trial in front of the Supreme Court, even though New York decided that they were going to do that and they did lose. Now, let's go ahead and get into some questions here because I see a lot of people are asking about the suppressor cases. The suppressor cases have been filed. There are two: FPC, SAF, and um, ASA is leading one. There is another suppressor case involving Gun Owners of America, Gun Owners Foundation, um, BRAC, which is the Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition, Silencer Shop, Silencer Co., and Palmetto State Armory. That is another case. Those cases are basically in the preliminary stages. So I wouldn't think that we're going to have any type of movement on it within the next month or so. But hey, you never know. So I think we're a few months out from having any ruling in those cases. We do not know what we are talking about. It's the cases that are challenging the $0 tax. A tax in the country has to have a monetary raising purpose. And since no revenue is raised by a $0 tax, the tax is unconstitutional. It should be an open shut case, but who knows with activist judges. The Sean Ryan gift to Gavin Newsom, he actually ended up turning down the gift because he said the law to get the gun into California was too difficult. You heard me right. He said it was too confusing and too difficult to get the gun into California. This is the governor of California that said that. So, yeah, maybe he should streamline the law a little bit, but who knows? Okay, so we'll see what happens with this, but as of right now, there is no en banc for the one gun a month. We're going to have to wait until the ruling actually comes out from the Ninth Circuit to see if they will grant um, an en banc by themselves. But right now, California, you're stuck in a tree. What? California has given up their right to an en banc hearing or their right to request an en banc hearing because an en banc hearing does not have to be granted. So we're going to see what is going on with this, but that is it. Just wanted to make a quick video and say thank you so much for watching. And if you're at Goals, check out the guys down there. Definition Knives are at the Fat Tack booth. Gideon Optics is there. Stop by and say hi to those guys. And I will see you guys either later today or tomorrow. Bye bye.